Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series has come to an end, and after that jaw-dropping ending, we're all wondering if there's going to be a second season or not. Now, we've spoken about it in the past, we looked at rumours and comments made by Ewan McGregor, Deborah Chow and others, and the answer has seemingly been a resounding maybe. But today my dear friends, we have some more news for it, because Kathleen Kennedy herself has given a response. Let's dive into it. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy says Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 is a very real possibility. In a new interview with Entertainment Tonight, Kennedy says that Lucasfilm is open to the idea of expanding Kenobi beyond a single season. Although the project was initially considered to be a limited series, Kathy says if there's enough fan engagement with the show and a story to tell, then Lucasfilm will consider it. Both Kathy Kennedy and Deborah Chow have stated that they would only do a second season if there was, quote, a real reason for doing one, and if there was enough plot to necessitate it. So here is the full quote. Well, frankly, we did set out to do it as a limited series, but I think if there's huge engagement and people really want more Obi-Wan, we'll certainly give that consideration, because the fans, they speak to us, and if we feel like, okay, there's a real reason to do this, it's answering the why then we'll do it, but we'll see. Now, in my full episode breakdown for episode 6, I mentioned that I've changed my mind on the issue. Originally, I didn't want a second season, I just didn't think it was a good idea, but based on the ending we got yesterday, I think a lot has been set up for more stories going forward. Now, what that would look like could either be a second season of Kenobi or a spin-off, maybe about the path with Roken and Haja that features Obi-Wan in a couple of episodes, as well as Reva's future. It's hard to deny that the way Part 6 ended left the door wide open for Disney and Lucasfilm to continue plot threads from this show, and I think there are many ways they could do this. For one thing, I think we all want some more Qui-Gon, and to see him actually train Obi-Wan on Tatooine. 10 years down the line in A New Hope, when Obi-Wan fights Vader on the Death Star, he says, "If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine." And when Kenobi says this, at this stage he already knows a lot about the cosmic force, and he doesn't fear death. So when Vader actually strikes him, his body disappears before it even hits the ground. To be able to transfer into the cosmic force a split second after dying would take an extreme amount of training and knowledge on the topic, and seeing as Obi-Wan has no real idea about this concept during Season 1 of Kenobi, it would not be too much of a stretch to say that Season 2 would focus on him learning from Qui-Gon and becoming better than he ever has been in terms of learning about the Force. It would also explain why he's so much wiser by the time of Episode 4. Now, if we do get a Season 2, I think there's a lot of story potential for Darth Vader, but he's not going to be able to interact whatsoever with Kenobi, since what we got in Part 6 is pretty much their last interaction until A New Hope. But what about a character like Reva? Where does her future lie, and is she going to appear again in a second season? Well, now that she's given up her inquisitorial ways and is free, many of us want to know what's next for the character, and it's almost a certainty that Disney and Lucasfilm will continue her story in some way, shape or form. My theory is that now she's going to join Roken and help with the path. It's one of her best options now that she's seen the Hope in Kenobi's brief encounter with them, but time will tell where her future lies. I think Moses did a great job. I'd love to see more of her. So now, my dear friends, I want to talk about a rumour that's emerged, but it's not entirely disconnected from Kenobi, and I will explain this connection later. According to a new report, Kestis from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting his own spin-off series. Now, I've always said it was only a matter of time before Cameron Monaghan's character made his way into a Disney Plus show. There is so much potential outside of the games for his future. Now, most recently, of course, we got a trailer for the sequel to Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, and it's likely the Jedi series of games are going to be a trilogy. Fallen Order, Survivor, and then one final game, at least according to Game Rant. If this is the case, they might wait for his story in the games to be told first, before he transitions to the world of Star Wars TV shows, but I think it's more likely he's going to appear in a project that connects to the middle installment, Jedi Survivor. Now this could be a future season of Kenobi, the Andor show, or something else entirely that's not been announced yet. The new rumour comes way of a YouTuber and insider called Christian Harloff, who says that he's heard Cameron Monaghan has signed on to reprise the role of Kestis in a Disney Plus series. But he also adds that no production dates have been revealed yet, but that it is happening, according to someone he's trusted before. It should be noted though, he was not able to get any further confirmation, so we should take this rumour with a grain of salt. But with the popularity of the TV shows on Disney Plus, and with the popularity of Jedi Fallen Order, with anticipation really high for the next game, it would only be logical to have Cameron play Cal in both game form and in live action. In fact, if you remember, many fans believed that Kestis was going to appear in Kenobi. And while this didn't come to pass in the first season, it shows already how receptive fans are to the possibility of live-action Cal. And either way, my dear Mandalorians, the future of Cal Kestis is bright, or should I say in universe, rather dark, because Jedi Survivor boasts much darker themes than Fallen Order. And it's going to be interesting to learn more about the game, and also the mysterious character in the Bacta tank. What is Palpatine up to? Now, for all we know, this rumour might have confused a couple of things. While they were told it was a Cal Kestis show, it could be for a Kenobi spin-off or a second season where Cal features heavily. Given many clues in Fallen Order, there's no reason why eventually he would not come across the path and the work with Force sensitives that Roken and Quinlan Vos are doing. And if so, he could connect to our allies from the Kenobi series in that way. He might be part of where their story leads, so it's not necessarily disconnected from the Kenobi show. In fact, the opposite. I think they're intertwined. Personally, I'd love Cal Kestis in a Disney Plus project, and I see that prospect as the logical evolution for how his story is told in the future. He might even end up in the Mandoverse, not necessarily in The Mandalorian, but in a show like Ahsoka or Skeleton Crew. And so finally, my dear friends, I just want to talk a little bit about Princess Leia. I thought Vivian Lyra Blair was perfect in this show, and the young version of the princess, in my opinion, was such a highlight. And this morning, I came across an editorial which talks about how this show changes the legacy of Leia forever. So I just wanted to reflect on that a little bit. Princess Leia's role in the Kenobi series expanded her significance and recontextualized some existing canon in ways that deepened Leia's imprint on the saga. Vivian Lyra Blair's performance was such a touching tribute to a beloved character and also the late great Carrie Fisher. In many ways, and this is emphasized a lot in episode 6, Leia acted as the hope for Kenobi in this show, which is really poetic because if you think about it in A New Hope, Leia describes Obi-Wan as her only hope. Leia's kidnapping and Belle's declaration that she's just as important as Luke, who Obi-Wan was watching over from afar, is what gets him off his feet and to come out of hiding to be the Jedi Master he was once again. This setup signaled early on that it would be the young princess who facilitates Obi-Wan seeing a new hope worth fighting for. And even at this early stage, she was fearless, stubborn, and wise beyond her years. Even in the finale, Obi-Wan calls her discerning, kind-hearted, and wise. And even though we know Luke and Leia's lineage, it's only in this show they really focus on Leia's part of it. We've always focused on Luke's connection to Vader, but never really on the traits that Leia inherited from Padme and Anakin, which always seemed to be secondary. I think this show did a great job in furthering the character's development, and you can see in the young Vivian Lyra Blair how her version of the character will morph into that of Carrie Fisher. As I say, she was a true highlight of this series. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. What do you make of everything we spoke about in this news update? If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.